Hugh sent me a message while I was out today with a link to a video. He said he'd only watched the first bit of it, but he was already very angry about it. So I went home and we reacted to it.
That is so offensive. Hey, I'm Nichola.
Hi, I'm Hugh.
We are MKH and we just suddenly decided to film this video.
I saw it on Korean news or somewhere.
Oh, and I actually haven't watched this video yet, but I've seen that BTS fans are really upset because apparently Australian media was really racist about BTS on this TV show. And so we're going to watch the video together now and we're going to react to it. I don't know what this TV show is. Also, I think it's important for us to talk about it because we are an Australian-Korean married couple. So we've lived in Australia, we live in Korea, now we're an intercultural couple. So we're very conscious about how our countries are portrayed and anything to do with racism, right?
I don't know exactly what they said, but like...
So we're going to react now and then see. Okay. So
Feel the rift between North and South Korea.
like right away, why would you just be talking about North and South Korea? Like I can see that this is not a news, like a serious show, right?
It's not like a documentary show or like...
Like the amount of times Koreans get asked, are you from North or South Korea? Like
so many times.
Oh, like just even from the first line, I'm just like, what the...
Provided Kim Jong-un is well into boy bands.
Kim Jong-un?
Okay, so somebody that is a dictator that starves his people, you know, South Korea is right next to North Korea, it's political, it's dangerous, and you want to equate Kim Jong-un with boy bands? Like, you think that is appropriate humor?
That's really stupid saying like that. Shame on you, really.
At number 18, it's the biggest band you've never heard of.
Never heard of.
You've never heard of BTS? Then you are an idiot if you've never heard of BTS.
I think they just looking down on like BTS. Like, then why did you make a show about this one?
Well, you can tell right away they're like two white Australians and oh, Korea, oh, North Korea, oh, Kim Jong-un, oh, a boy band. Like you can see that immediately. It's coming in with that racism and that prejudice right away.
You don't know that. I'm fully down with the kids.
This is BTS, the South Korean One Direction.
One Direction are great. They're great, but BTS is still their own band. Just because they're a boy band doesn't mean that they're the same thing.
So they're talking about another white boy band.
And they're just being like, oh, they're just, you know, what, Koreans can't make their own music, Koreans can't make their own things. It's always got to be like, oh, this is the copy of a white person thing.
Yeah, never heard them.
Never heard them. I never heard your name.
I don't know who the you are.
When I first heard something Korean had exploded in America, I got worried. So I guess could have been worse.
They're trying to be funny about this.
But not much worse.
And exploded they have. They're the first Korean act to have a #1 in America, which is made even more impressive because only one band member actually speaks English.
So what?
So why they have to speak all in English?
Yeah, right?
Why?
The thing that I really love about BTS is they've stayed true to their Korean roots. I think K-pop bands can fail when they try to be too international. Yeah,
too English.
Yeah.
But they just keep...
And aren't all the other members learning?
They are.
This is what annoys me as a Korean learner when people are like, oh, you don't speak Korean. I'm like, no, I speak some Korean. There's not, when you're learning a language, it isn't like you either know it or you don't. You're always somewhere sort of in between. The members are learning English, but it doesn't happen overnight like that.
So how many languages can they speak?
Yeah.
Can they speak Korean?
Yeah, can you guys speak Korean?
And I really started getting into this wormhole of their lyrics, and one of them was, this meeting is like mathematical formula. I mean, that doesn't get the girls across the line.
I have no idea what they're singing about, but these guys are great. Their choreo is great. The singing is passable.
Okay, so you cherry pick out something, a little bit of singing that doesn't sound great from a band that is actually really good at singing. Rob Mills, you're only famous for having Paris Hilton. Like, get out of here.
God, I love these guys. Totally gangster names. You got Rat Monster,
It's RM now, he doesn't go Rat Monster.
Don't call him Rat Monster anymore.
J-Hope, V, Sugar, Jimin, Jin, and Jungkook.
Yeah, some of those are Korean names. So you're being disrespectful about Korean names there?
There's 7 members. That is a lot.
What she said?
She said there's 7 members, that's a lot.
7 members are a lot. I don't know what you are talking about. How can you be comedian then?
That is 2 hire cars. Surely you could fire 4 of them. That way you just have to hire a sedan and everyone have a nice bit of leg room.
You're a comedian? Okay.
The most tweeted about celebs for the last 2 years running, and they even spoke at the UN.
What about?
I'm going to say hair products.
That
really...
is so offensive. Like, this was... They are such role models for people to just be like, oh, about hair products. When he did such a great speech, like, at the UN. Like, that is so offensive to say that.
We truly have the best fans in the world.
These fans are hardcore. I asked if any of them were gay, and just even asking that question upset these fans so much. I'm like, it's just math.
So I feel like BTS are a really big band. They're also the new old people barometer. Like, if you've heard of them, you're young. If you're not...
All right, that cut off there, which, like, I don't want to watch anymore as well. Such a thing of, like, dumb white people, because this is an Asian group. Like, they're trying to be funny. You know what? There are lots of ways people can be funny about K-pop and BTS. And, you know, there's YouTubers that do it really well. There's commentary channels that comment on things and can be really funny. PewDiePie has been really funny about K-pop before without disrespecting people. I'm just like really like sad as an Australian because I thought Australia was sort of past this. Like, Sydney, Brisbane, Melbourne, full of Korean restaurants. People are going out eating Korean barbecue all the time. Even in rural Australia, there's like Korean workers on their working holiday visas. Like, there's... So I think in Sydney alone, there's like a population of 40,000 Koreans. Australians are not unfamiliar with Koreans and Korean culture. So this just seems to be targeting old racist white people. So they can watch this and go, oh, silly Asians, oh, you know, they probably eat dog, and oh, North Korea, Kim Jong-un, blah, blah, blah. Like, it just, that's what it reeks of to me.
I mean, Australia is already like not really good for people know that, like, you know,
already has a reputation.
Reputation of racism, and you are doing this one on TV. It's not just YouTube channel. On TV you are doing like this. It's really, really bad. I don't understand what kind of mind of you making this kind of show. Like, it's really, really terrible. And they haven't apologized about this one, right?
Yeah, so SBS Pop Asia just had an article come up, and so people, you know, they said Channel 9, so this is on Channel 9 in Australia, which is one of the main networks, said they come under fire for derogatory segment about BTS. I don't understand why they had the people talking about it that they did. Like, why not have like a YouTuber that is quite big about K-pop or something, you know? Like, why not have somebody that's relevant? Why not have an Asian Australian comedian talk about this that could actually say something funny without being offensive, instead of just a bunch of white people like this?
They're all white people, right?
Yeah.
And then they look like they are not interested in K-pop. So why you talk about these things?
Talking about
and
this?
if you are not only just interested in K-pop, if you are interested in pop songs, you might hear about them.
Yeah.
Because they're huge.
The whole feeling of this segment is very bizarre, because BTS are not just some, you know, small group, and it's that sort of otherism of like, oh, well, this is Asian and this is weird, so we're gonna make fun of it like this.
I mean, they were saying like 73 countries, they were number one.
And then you're saying, oh, but you've never heard of them?
Then you're stupid, right?
Yeah, then you're stupid. Or you're very old. Right, so apparently the Australian BTS Twitter tweeted about this. And so it's trending of like Channel 9 apologise. So there's a lot of tweets and stuff. So people saying, yeah, racial undertones, yes. It's problematic, yes. Xenophobia, yes. Yeah, so people are really upset about this. And you know what? BTS have a fan base that they do have a reputation of being very full on and very passionate, and sometimes not in the best way, but this is a way where they're completely justified in just being like, how dare you? And then apparently, so this is what a Channel 9 spokesperson said responding, as a light-hearted entertainment program, it is our belief that last night's episode of 2021, who's even heard of this show? I've never heard of it, which I also live in Korea, so I don't give up, which highlighted the greatest global crazes. I didn't even know it was called that, greatest global crazes.
What kind of name is that?
Oh, look at all the funny people that are not in Australia that are doing weird things. Even that has racist undertones. Did not breach any broadcast regulations and was intended to humorously highlight the popularity of the group. We apologize to any who may have been offended by last night's episode.
That's not apology.
That's not. They didn't. They're refusing to properly apologize because they don't want to admit that there's racial undertones to it, and they don't want to admit that it was a bunch of white people.
Terrible.
Saying crap about a Korean group that's done more than any of those people. And I did see some other people tweeting that the host, I think it is, has got actually a very racist Twitter. So, like, even if the hosts are just reading a script that writers have said, like, the hosts are kind of, like, not good people either. Like, apparently this guy's, like, got a bunch of racist tweets as well. Like, you can be funny about groups. Like, there is a way that you could do something really hilarious about K-pop and that type of thing. This is not it, because you shouldn't have these racial undertones of like, oh, look at what these crazy Asians are doing. Oh, their names, let's laugh at their Korean names. Even if you're laughing at the stage names or you're laughing at genuine Korean names, like your Korean name is...
So
and how would you feel if somebody like made fun of that on TV? Oh, that funny name. What did they say? They were like, oh, gangster name or something like that.
And also there are so many BTS fans in Australia.
Yeah.
That's really disrespectful. Like, you are thinking of only Asian people are liking BTS? No, there are so many different people like BTS.
Yeah, it's also, as people are saying, it's also misogynistic. Like, and the bringing up even though Perez Hilton is a gay man himself who was on that, they're bringing up they got upset when I asked if one of them is gay. And it's probably because the tone that you're doing it in is disrespectful to the group. Oh, guys that are wearing makeup and dancing, oh, they must be gay, they must be gay. That's what fans are getting upset. Not because one of the members might be gay, one of them might be. It's not your business.
What?
It's not your business. But the point is, if you're saying because they have a certain appearance, oh, they're gay, and you're using it in a derogatory way, that's what people are upset about. Lately, I've just been, especially with the past election in Australia, I've been very disappointed in Australia. And both Australia and Korea have racism problems. And for us, like, it's difficult for us because we're intercultural, and we want both of our countries to be good, and we want people to see the benefits of multiculturalism. But this is the type of thing that shits all over multiculturalism. And it's very ignorant because both of our countries already have multiculturalism, right? And there's families like us, there's intercultural families like us. And, so many people are listening to SBS Pop Asia or watching SBS Pop Asia like on TV or whatever. They're interested in that. And to act like, oh, this is the biggest group you've never heard of. No, of course people have heard of BTS. Or they've at least know what K-pop is.
And then like every time there is like racism, Australian people are really racist. I always say, no, not everyone, everybody is racist. And then you make something like this. What are you doing? Make me so angry and upset about this. Every time something happened like this in Australia.
Yeah. And I feel like it's getting worse. Like, of course, there's always been racism, and there's been horrific racism in the past, and there's ongoing racism in Australia. But like, it just seems to be, especially with the past election and that type of thing, people are getting more selfish and they're getting more racist. And when we should be understanding and accepting, things like this are made in the vein of humor, and they will say, and people will comment, it's just humor. Oh, you can't appreciate
It's
a
not
joke.
funny.
Like, because these are white people in a position of privilege using Australian media to look down on something that is Asian, and that is a problem. And then one guy brings up some weird lyric or something. What, like no band? Like, oh, the Beatles had no weird lyrics? Like, it's such nitpicking. It's the xenophobia, there's homophobia in there as well. It's like all those things are mixed in. That's why I'm so shocked.
Jealous and everything.
In 2019 that an Australian TV show would do that. Like, thanks a lot. We already have a terrible reputation. I already try my best to get people to understand that Australia is a very diverse country, and there are lots of accepting Australians, and there's lots of communities in Australia that are so accepting and multicultural, and we're evidence of this as a multicultural family. And then something comes up like this, and like, I can't defend this. I can't say, oh, Australians are just joking. Oh, Australians have a unique sense of humor. This wasn't even like Australian humor. Like, they had some Americans talking on it. It wasn't Australian humor like that. And the fact that Australian media then is not very diverse as far as Asian Australians are represented. If they had Asian Australians talking about this, it would be funny, you know, and it wouldn't be offensive. Instead, it's just hurtful. It's hurtful to fans, and it's hurtful to Koreans. Koreans are really proud of BTS, and they should be, because BTS have achieved a lot. And then to just other them, to be like, oh, those kooky Asians, oh, it's weird, you know, like this, aha, only one member speaks English, oh, what did they talk about at the UN, oh, hair products, oh, ha 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 ha, yeah, because they've all got better hair than you idiots.
You idiots.
I don't think we've ever been like this extreme on a YouTube video. And like I said, I'm not even a BTS.
I'm upset, really upset about this. Like, what if your national treasures, if we touch them, like Hugh Jackman, Chris Hemsworth, like all these things,
right?
Like, if we say something bad about them, you know, you'll be upset, right? Why did you do that? We love Chris Hemsworth and Hugh Jackman. We are not going to do it because we don't want to be same people like you guys.
Maybe coming up Hugh's video criticizing Chris Hemsworth and
no, because I love them, so I will not. And I don't want to be same people like them.
Anyway, this is just a very very bizarre thing. And that's our thoughts on it. Like, very, very, like, literally just right away thoughts on it.
And we really appreciate to Korean people as Australian
and Korean couple.
Because this is not, every Australian is not like that.
No.
You know, they are real racist people. So there are so many good people in Australia as well. So don't think all Australian people are bad people.
Yeah. And I think the Australian media is a very toxic place. I'm much happier doing stuff in Korean media than I ever would be doing stuff in Australian media. And with that, I do radio shows, so I've got to go and do that.
So I just finished my radio. I just wanted to film something quickly to add to what we said. Like, we just reacted to it, so it's just our genuine first reaction. So I was also talking to a friend who also is Australian and married to a Korean man, and so her children are Australian Korean like our son. And she made the point of that, you know, the fandom is upset about this, of course, but the long-term impact is, like, our children, they're the ones that feel the effect of that because they're Australian Korean. They have a Korean name. Like, we use our son's Korean name more than his English name. And this type of segment that plays on Australian TV, and they make fun of Korean names like that, like they other it, they make it like it's something weird when it shouldn't be something weird. And there are lots of Australian Koreans that use their Korean names, and it shouldn't be this weird thing. And it's such a xenophobic thing. That's what's really hurtful about it. You know, Korea has its own problems with racism and xenophobia, but I think I expected more from Australia. And I know this is probably just some really like crappy late night TV show, I don't know, never heard of it, but the whole tone of it seems to be really racist, of like global crazes or whatever, that, oh, everybody else, you know, look at the crazy Asians, look at this, everybody else is weird, but we're the normal ones in Australia. And like our child is both Australian and Korean, and we want him to feel comfortable in both cultures, and we don't want him to think that either culture thinks less of him because he's part of another culture as well. And that's something that I just wanted to add. I think there's so many things we could add to this video, but this video is mostly just about our first sort of reaction to this. So, okay, back to the video again.
So please subscribe to us if you haven't already. We are starting to do more videos where we react to things and our really genuine opinion on some topics. So if there's something else you'd like us to talk about, please leave it below. Okay, bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Apologize. Channel 9.
Yes, Channel 9 should apologize, definitely.
Hate you.